Hello, what is going on YouTube? It is your boy Sir Quatica D Gray, bringing you something completely brand new. This is the story of a girl. No, that can't be right. So this is something I kind of alluded to before. This is sort of a how I make my thumbnails, so that way you guys can take notes of my insanity and hopefully make thumbnails of your own that will get people's attentions. So and if you guys are very new to who I am, my name is Sir Quatica D Gray, and I make really wacky thumbnails, and I mean wacky. Some includes the ones that you see on the screen right now. As a fair warning, I am not a professional in Photoshop. Everything you guys have witnessed so far have been me just sort of learning through Photoshop, learning what different things are. So I have yet to take a professional course. I'm not certified. I don't know if you can get certified in Photoshop or Adobe Premiere, but I've been learning as I go, and I thought I'd show you guys how I do this kind of stuff, and maybe you guys can learn from it, and maybe I can learn from myself too. So for today's thumbnail, we will be working on week 1 of the ICP. If you guys have missed that battle, make sure you guys will go watch it, so that you get to understand have a better understanding of my thought process when creating these thumbnails. So a link to the game will be found in the description below, or in the comment section, or a card up there. I don't know. Go watch it. Give me views, please. I desperately need it. And finally, if you guys do enjoy this content, by all means, hit the like button down below. Subscribe if you have not already, and consider donating to my Buy Me a Coffee page, so I feel better about making these thumbnails, and I don't feel like a whore. Hey, haha, I was saying my name. I wasn't cussing. Anywho, so let's get started. I'm gonna talk about conceptual. I guess I'm gonna break this. I don't know. This is very informal because I'm kind of doing this on a whim. I really haven't really thought about how I want to do this, because what I've thought about doing before, or what I've thought about how I would do this is I would just record myself making the thumbnail, but sometimes I actually have pauses in my thought process. So going into this thumbnail, usually I have an idea already in mind, and so really that battle with the ICP, nothing happened. So you might be wondering yourself, Jorge, how do you figure out what to do if nothing really happened? And your answer is, well, I usually have a feeling of like, okay, I want this to be the thumbnail. Or like, usually it's a Pokemon that stood out to me. And so for me, for week 1 of that battle, it was Cramorant. I've already edited, so as I record this, I've already edited the video, and I kind of had a spoof at the beginning with the Gold Missile, and I knew going into this before I even started recording that I wanted Cramorant to be involved in it. And I actually have the title already in mind, but it might change. So right now, the title that I have in mind is Gobble Me, Swallow Me, just like the Nicki Minaj, I think, who made, yeah, right? Yeah, because of the WAP. Yeah, right? Oh god. Anywho, so the idea I have in mind is essentially I want 2 Cramorants with me inside of them. So the big issue that I have in mind right now is, okay, do I want to draw out these Cramorants, or do I want to get a model for it? So I'm going to go through the process of getting a 3D model for Pokemon Sword and Shield, and that actually might be its own separate tutorial that I'll upload later. But I'll show you what I do and basically how I go through this madness. So let's get started, first and foremost. So give me 1 second, I'm going to make a quick transition. So if you will allow me to do that. Okay, so as you guys can see, I'm booting up, oh, I turned off my camera. Alright, this is going to be very rough. Oh, okay. So as you guys have figured out, my living arrangement is a mess. But anywho, so as you guys can see, I have Pokemon Sword and Shield, and as you guys can see, I haven't played this game since my match. But anywho, so if you guys don't know, I actually kind of picked this up from Shayquaza. So shout out to Shayquaza, who actually just watched their analysis for this league. Go check it out, please. But anywho, so if you guys don't know about this is pretty cool. So, and I'll show you how you get these clean 3D models. They're not super clean, especially when you blow them up, like we usually, how I tend to do sometimes. But so I'm gonna go to Cramorant. So gotta remember ABCs. So Cramorant, right? I don't know if they have the gouging forms. There's the shiny. Okay, they do. That is perfect. Do I not have the shiny version of this? Awkward. Okay. So usually, what I was trying to get at is I want to get these models, right? So I want to get a specific angle of Cramorant, so that way, when I take a screenshot of this, as I do now, you guys can see on my screen, it's a screenshot. What I'll do from here is I'm gonna send this photo from my Switch onto my phone via Twitter. There's other ways, like there's an app, there's my Nintendo, but I'm gonna take this image and I'm gonna send it to my phone. So when I open it on Photoshop, all I have to do is simply color remove the background, and luckily Cramorant's Bink isn't going to get in the way, even if I had the shiny variant, and I'm going to double check this in just a second, but hopefully I can get the gouging form shiny. Let me see if I can get that real quick, so give me 1 second. Okay, and there's the shiny variant with the Arrokuda in its mouth. That's perfect. So again, I don't know what angle I want to go for just yet, so I'm going to go for several angles, just to see, just to see which one looks nice. That looks too forward. So the idea I have in mind is sort of like the coat of arms. So again, I like this angle a whole lot. And luckily Cramorant is asymmetrical, so nothing too crazy. Okay, so something we do have to keep in mind is we have to completely remove the Arrokuda. And so maybe we should do a Pikachu as well. But I know Pikachu, I have to keep Cramorant under 50% health. And I'm going to be real, I'm kind of lazy and I don't want to get to that. So I think just that alone is fine. So first and foremost, I actually got to update my internet settings because with LAN, we actually have to sort of got to fidget our internet setting. So that way we can connect to the LAN server. I don't know if I should say that or not. The video's up there, so I should be fine. Let me quickly... Oh no, you know what? Whatever shall I do? I'm probably gonna cut that out anyways. Internet, please work. Please work, internet. Cool. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the album. And as you can see, I've done this plenty of times. You guys have seen this with my other thumbnails, but you guys can see the screenshot I've taken of these Pokemon. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna post a batch, and I'm gonna choose all 4 that I've selected so far. I'm gonna hit post, and this is gonna go to my Twitter. So when I hit post to Twitter, all these images are gonna get saved onto Twitter. So right now they're on my public Twitter. And probably my friend Oscar has probably liked them at this point. Love you, Oscar. Thank you for doing that. That means the world to me. So let me go to Twitter. And you guys can't see that just yet, so let me update my OBS settings. So you guys can see that. Okay, there. So you guys are seeing like sort of like the raw of it all. And that's really what I had in mind, because I don't know how long this is going to be again. I don't know if this is going to go for the full hour. But I kind of just wanted to show you what I do. So usually what I do, I usually do have Photoshop open by now, but again, I'm just kind of doing this all last minute. Also, go follow me on Twitter, if you guys want to. I do post some funny tweets from time to time, and it's not just, my my content that I'm promoting. As you can see, like I said before, our goal is to get this image onto Photoshop and use a really cool tool that they have, and essentially what I'll do is it's gonna remove all this, like the same colors in the background. And if you guys will notice on this Cramorant, you might be wondering, what about the sort of Rotom outline? Luckily, Photoshop is sort of not colorblind, but it will see these 2 colors. And again, hopefully I can see it. I don't know if my recording can see it, but also you can see it says Nintendo Switch Chair, whatever. And you can see it. Photoshop will think it's the same color. That's kind of good, and for us, anyways. It's a little less steps, because if it saw it as 2 different colors, then we would have to sort of crop those 2 colors out, and that's gonna be a little bit more work for us. And our goal is to do minimal work. So I'm gonna do a 1940 by 1080 screen thing. I think those are the dimensions I use. Usually I have a downscale, but usually whenever you're making thumbnails, in my opinion, you have to make it bigger. Just in case, because you have more pixels to work with, and I think it's always better to downscale than to upscale. So anyways, here is Photoshop. I'm gonna save it in just a second. But the big thing is I want to get these images. Now, if you're using like this computer like I am, gosh, I lost my post. Go to media. Okay, so you're tempted to copy this from just this section right here, but don't do that, and I'll show you why in just a second. So if I copied it from the post directly, and I hit paste, it's gonna be that small. However, if you go into if you actually click on the image and copy that, you're actually gonna get the full dimensions, right? So like the actual Switch dimensions, and I think that's 1280 by 720. So we went from this smaller fish to this bigger fish, and this is a lot better because that's a lot clearer, especially when you upscale that, because we are going to be upscaling this image. That's going to be a lot better for us. Anyways, so I'm going to copy all 4 images, and again, I don't know which one I'm going to use in the end. I kind of just want to get all of them out there. To be honest, I like that first one I saw. I actually like that one too. My issue is the Arrokuda tail is on the other side of that, and so we have to fill that in, or I have to do some big gesture to cover those holes. So maybe we probably won't be using that one, but that's okay. Again, not every image I take is perfect, and I usually take several. And again, the Arrokuda tail is getting in the way, but that's fine. That is a-okay. So let's go through each one. So that's the first one we took. So in all honesty, I really like this first one over here. Let me look at the second one. So in my humble opinion, I like these first layer 2 and 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save all of these, and I'm going to show you what I want to do. So I'm going to hide all these layers over here so that you can see what I'm exactly going to do. I'm going to also get ahead of myself and just simply remove the rest of the background colors, right? Get that out of the way. Oh, that's the wrong layer. Congratulations. I'm going to get those out of the way, so whenever I apply this tool, and I'm hoping that this works, but because Crabmat is orange, it might get in the way. We'll see. But so essentially, the tool I'm using on Photoshop is called Magic Eraser Tool. And like I said before, this tool will allow you to remove similar colors in an image, right? So if I go ahead and erase this part of Cramorant, thank you for doing. Oh, I forgot that the white background. As you can see, it made his chest a little bit transparent, or it did make it transparent. And I gotta make sure that I undid that. Looks like I did. Okay, and we're just gonna apply that to the background. And as you can see, it completely removed it. And this is really how all PokeTubers get those nice transparent images, 3D models, and that's how I do it. So I'm gonna again blow this up, and as you can see, this Cramorant is almost full size, and yeah, sure, it's a little rough on the edges, but for the most part, it looks pretty good in my opinion. This is not the one we're gonna use, but I still wanted to show you how you get these nice 3D models. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the tools that I actually like, so which was this first one, and again, I'm grabbing the lasso tool and just removing the extra fluff that I don't need. I'll be doing this regardless. So select inverse, delete, wrong layer. Again, Jorge, congratulations. Go to my eraser, remove it. There we go. And let me just repeat this process one last time. Okay, so now we have our 2 Cramorants, right? We have this one that looks pretty profile, and then we got this second one, which is sort of at an angle. And as you can probably see, and I'm just realizing right now, this inside of the mouth is also colored. And again, it's because that Arrokuda, its tail is perfectly within the mouth, so we're gonna have those edges right there. At the end of the day, our goal is to completely remove this Arrokuda and have me inside. And I think I am gonna go for the angle that I'm gonna be completely in. And then we double check this other Cramorant over here that we didn't miss any red, and it looks like we didn't. That's fantastic. Okay, so we have these 2 Cramorants. Now my next step is to sort of figure out how I want to position these Cramorants. This is really weird, I'm gonna be real. If I can just take a quick tangent, I'm gonna check how long this recording is too. Okay, we're at 17 minutes, okay. I usually don't do this, and it's just all in my head. So you guys, this whole rampant tangent thing is just me going through my head, so you guys can sort of get an idea. Some psychologist probably gonna watch it and be like, this kid needs help, and I do. Anyways, okay, so now I'm gonna figure out what Cramorant angle I'm gonna go for, and I'm gonna be real. I kind of like this profile one. I'm gonna mess with. Well, I actually like that one too. I like this one a lot more. I'm gonna be real. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna blow this Cramorant up. and I'm gonna angle him. That's really what. Okay, I'm gonna angle him. So again, the idea I had was like sort of like a coat of arms, and I don't know what I'm gonna have for the background just yet. Usually, so sometimes I have the background immediately, sometimes I don't. Okay, there we go. And again, just want to make it look like, I want to make, there we go. So probably make it a little bit bigger. There we go. So the idea is I'm going to be kind of spewing up on this region right here. I don't have those images just yet, so there'll be a break in the recording where I'm going to go take those photos. I wish I could find, I probably could have the camera on, but it'll be hard to angle me in two different positions, one for the camera and one for this camera and then one for my actual phone. Because I use my Google Pixel to take those photos that you'll see sometimes. And sometimes they're not the best, I'll be real. I've considered investing in an actual camera to take better quality photos. But anywho, let me quickly position the cameras the way I want them. So I had, like I said before, again, Jorge, finish your thoughts. Let me do the same thing for this camera over here as well. And just do that for myself. And I did say that I wanted Cramorant, or two different Cramorants. I'm gonna wait to duplicate this because I need to remove the Arrokuda to begin with, so I would rather just do it for one Arrokuda. Or, you know, remove the one Arrokuda. I like this one a lot more. This one's won me over. Alright, so this is the Cramorant I'm gonna use for the thumbnail. And so the idea I have is, so going into the photo pose, I'm quoting WAP, so like I gotta make it sexy, like look at this, it's pretty sexy. So I'm gonna go take a few photos, there's gonna be a break in the recording, I'll have the images on there and I'll also show you how I crop myself because I just crop myself. I took down the green screen because for recordings I didn't like the green screen, like flickers, and also it kind of hindered the recording. So I removed my green screen, that's why you guys see the background again behind me. Anywho, I'm gonna go take some photos, I'll be right back, and I'll get into removing this Arrokuda. Be back. Okay, so just got done with my photo shoot. I think there's gonna be a montage, but it's superly like sloppily angled because using this camera right here and not my telephono device. I wanted to show you sort of some of the photos that I took. I usually have like an image in my head of like what I want to do or what I want to like try to accomplish sometimes, and initially I actually was thinking of doing two Cramorants, one with me and one pose I got to talk about earlier was like doing the sexy pose, and the other one was like my feet, but I'm kind of lazy and don't want to do my feet and take photos of my feet again. So I'm gonna try to use the photos that I took so far, and also I'm gonna go through them with you. So I actually have them in reverse chronological order. As you guys can see on the bottom right, I took 10 photos actually. Wait, let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10 photos. So you guys might be like wondering, that's a lot, Jorge. Well, I usually like to like correct myself, look at the image, I take it, and just try to go for a different angle sometimes. This is the very first one I did. Anyways, this is what I had in my mind. My main issue is, and I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but I try to avoid using my glasses, and the main reason is just because I get this glare. So this glare is from, I believe, from my actual like lamp in my room, and the second glare is from my ring light. So, and the ring light gives me natural lighting, so I don't look so dark in my images. So, that's usually why I don't use my glasses and my thumbness because I just don't like the glare. So this is the first one I took. This is the second attempt actually when I took. Going for the more Jack Black look, you know, the very, yeah, I'm in a crime response, what you gonna do? I like this one a lot, I'm gonna be real. Just like the severity of it. I just don't know about the body angle of me because I go at a my head is not the same like angle as my body. I think I might have been angling in the wrong way, but I do like this one a whole lot. I'm gonna put this one on the top and come back to this one. This one I was going for like the very sexy face, but unfortunately I was looking way too up, and so I'm not using this one at all. And this is the sexy face I was going for over here. I think I accomplished that one well. I'm gonna use that one up there as well with letter 14. And again, just having myself there, just looking sexy. Now this is a more of an indulgent photo. Again, using different poses and angles. Hopefully I'm not coming across as like narcissistic or any way, such a form. I just go for the pose and just try to sell it well. So sorry if that was how it come across as. I apologize. I'm not trying to be narcissistic. I'm just trying to sell what I'm trying to be what I'm trying to be. I'm an actor. Be or not to be. Anyways, so I don't know how I feel about this person right here, but and again, this was like an attempt at doing a different pose, and it was a failure because I was moving, and I realized I needed to move my way out, and this is what I came up with, like, you know, being ready to be launched out. Now I know that the Arrokuda and the Pikachus are always like head first, but it wouldn't look good for a thumbnail if I had feet first because you guys wouldn't know who that would be. You guys could assume it's me, but sometimes other people may just not. What I like about this pose right here is I do have the opportunity to sort of bend my body right here because my arm comes in right here. I could move this, shift just a little bit, so that way I'm a little bit more straight, or I could just retake the photo all entirely if I liked this position, but this photo just doesn't do it. But yeah, I like this photo a whole lot. I'm also going to put it up here above layer 13 and hide that. Here's another one where again I'm just becoming a missile. Didn't realize my eyes were closed, so I'm not going to use it. Here's another one. I didn't like my face too much, and now here's the one that I realized, and this was the last one that I took. That again, it's like, oh crap, I'm in a Cramorant's mouth, and I don't know what to do. Okay, so usually these thumbnails aren't too taxing, but because I am going to use different photos of me, I'm going to have to crop myself in several photos. The ones that I'm not going to use, I'm just going to delete because that's just too many layers. Actually, for the sake of this video, I'm going to put them in a file and just like hide them elsewhere so I don't get distracted by them whatsoever. And in fact, I'm going to do the same thing with the other images that I'm not using so far with the Cramorants. So I'm just going to layer them all up and layer these two up and just forget about them and never see them again. Anyways, so there's multiple ways you can you know, unpin yourself. Usually you want to go, I mean, if you have a green screen, that makes your life so much easier. You plop it up behind you, take the photo, go from there. But unfortunately, if you guys couldn't tell, I have green hair. So sometimes whenever I go for it, it crosses my hair out. And also, I don't know if I'm using the right tools. So this is what's been working with me. So bear in mind that. Anyways, I'm gonna start cropping myself here. And the way I do this, I simply just grab my pen tool and I just pin my way all around, make a selection, select inverse, and delete the rest. Now, I don't know if, because I have my legs cropped, if that's going to bite me in the butt. We're going to find that out in just a second. I could always just stretch myself out, make myself look taller. Apparently, a lot of you guys said think I'm short for some reason. Maybe that's because it's just my personality. But I'm 5'10". I'm above average. Above average! Size doesn't matter. It's the way you cop your missile. Okay, so let's get depending montage time. Jorge, I'm gonna stop the recording here and start a montage. Or I should make it part of the recording. Whatever. Okay, before I finish this off, so the way you use the pen tool, again, as you notice, I'm sort of going around my image, And you then, after you make your selection, I go to mix or put all my dots on the board, put make selection. Don't know, I'm gonna be real, I don't know what any of this does. And so now it sort of creates this little this region, in which is just my entire body. Now I do have to crop these out, and I will do that in just a second. But what I like to do is I like to go select inverse and just delete all that fluff. And that's the wrong layer, Jorge. Congratulations. And now you should see the crop behind me. And if I unselect this, 0, there I am. And again, that's just the image of me, and I do this every single time I use myself. So that's the first one. I'm gonna crop the inside of my arms now, do the rest and the rest of the montage, but I wanted to break the montage to show you that. But anyways, and before I do continue, if you're still watching this, consider subscribing. If you guys are enjoying my thought process, I feel for you. Back to the montage. And there we go, that's the first one. So again, now you guys can, so before I also continue, the reason why I also like to crop out the inner parts of my arm, that looks a lot easier for me. I don't look as solid, and you guys can clearly tell that that's not my entire arm. Like, I don't have brick for arms. So yeah, first one, on to the second one, where I'm Jack Black apparently. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have now completed all 3 of our Jorges. Maybe I'll use all 3, but because I had 2 Cramorants in Vision, probably not going to use all of them. But the next thing we have to do now, in my head anyways, is go for the Cramorants now. Or, basically get this Arrokuda out of this Cramorant's mouth. Now, what I could simply do is, just put myself in there. And now looking at this, like, already, I don't think I have to do too much cropping, but that's really what I had in mind in terms of like positioning and all that. But my issue was this, and again, because if I go for the back layer, this Cramorant is gonna get in the way. I can Photoshop myself, or like angle it a little bit better. But I think this is gonna be the better angle to go for. So let me quickly just go and edit this Arrokuda out. Luckily, this isn't too complicated of a job. And I could probably talk to you as I do it, and if I get too rambly or I just like lose my train of thought, then obviously a montage will begin. But again, because the shape isn't too complex, I can pretty freely just look at what is there, and because the tail is wagging on the other side, I could safely assume that this isn't like beak or that sounds really weird. This isn't beak. Like, it's not like Arrokuda that or Cramorant that I'm editing. And luckily, at the end of the day, this is relatively a small portion of Cramorant, and it's not like people are going to zoom in on this and like dock me points because it looks ugly. And yeah. So I should have, there we go. So if I make the selection, hopefully if I've done this right, and delete on the right layer, actually, Jorge. And actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to select the inverse of this, Control J this, and now what I've done is, what Control J does, it just makes a duplicate of whatever layer you're working on. So if I look at this, so initially I just selected purely the Cramorant, right? Or the Arrokuda in its mouth. But because I just collected the Arrokuda, if I inverse that, or if I select the inverse, all that's left to see is the Cramorant. And now I'm not too worried about, getting anything else because everything else was translucent. I'm not getting any of this white in the background. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Control J again, so I make a copy of that. I'm going to horizontally flip that. And so now I get to sort of mess with the positionings of these burbs, because so that they're not like in each other's way, especially because I would hate for that to be the case. And so let me just really just position these well. And again, I want to make sure that, now that I have really cool angles for me, I actually kind of want all of them to be, glamorized. If that makes sense. So let me find a better angle for these Cramorants, and maybe another montage that we go into. Oh no, not another montage! Run away! But again, I just want to separate these burbs so that they look nice and even. But again, I'm no professional. I sometimes I don't even know what I'm about to say half the time. But I do like this angling right here. As for a background, I still don't know. Maybe it could be Azumarill. I don't know. Yeah, like a very worried Azumarill. I kind of like that actually. So we might have to go back into Sword and Shield. But anywho, so now we have these Cramorants. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put them in the front. So as you guys look at my layering, I have them on the front. So whenever move myself, all three of me. And what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna just make a backup copy for myself just in case they go bad. Just in case I need to grab another copy of myself. And these I'm gonna name it me. Stupid. Okay. So again, I have these 3 layers of me, all unique, all beautiful in their own ways. So first instinct for me, anyways, not that. Is to sort of do something like this, if I can actually so now I have to sort of angle myself, and as you imagine, we run into an issue with the Cramorant, that being, I don't fit. We have extra stuff hanging out, part of me doesn't even so what can we do? What can we do? And I'm actually thinking about this as I say that out loud. What can we do? Well, for starters, what we can do is we could just eliminate this beak right here. And actually place a... So I'm going to remove the inside of this beak since it is going to the inside of me is going to take up basically the rest of this beak. So let me just remove the rest of this beak, make selection. Okay. Okay, perfect. And now what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna just position myself into where I see something that I like. And again, my main issue is, I know, this is me, right? Yeah. Okay. What do you mean? Stupid Photoshop not working anymore. Oh, I see what's going on. There we go. Okay, so what happened was I had a dot selected, and Photoshop will freak out if that's there. So that's why you just saw that. So there we go. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is essentially I'm gonna remove my arms, and this is why I like having backups of the images that I've selected, because in case this image goes south, I have a backup of the original photo. So here we go, make selection, and I'll do myself one better. I'll just make a copy of that and just hide that. And so now it looks like Cramorant is smoking a J. Literally a J, because Jorge, I'm smart. Damn, that's clever. Okay, so that's the first possibility. Now we just sort of repeat this process. And what's nice about Oh, I forgot that I had done that. There we go. And again, what's nice about this being symmetrical is I really don't have to worry about actually I like where the armpits sort of like come out a little bit. Let me see how that looks. Again, this is all experimental. Like I don't instantly like know what I'm gonna do. So like, and again, it is a process. So I do apologize if I like space out or we go immediately into like a montage, because this is 25 minutes just for the second part. This is the yikes. But this is a part of my system. And if you don't like it, go to hell. Okay, so I'm gonna crop up my hands. And again, this won't be for, like, I won't make a how it's made for every thumbnail, because I'm gonna be real, sometimes this is super simple and not interesting. But this is like my first thumbnail back. And so this is like the first time I make a thumbnail in a very long time, so I kind of want to make it something interesting, something that you guys won't forget. Famous last words, who knows? So make selection, and again what I'm going to do is select inverse, copy to that, see how that looks. I don't like that. How did that look from the original? Let me move this one up. I like it when the shoulders are inside the mouth. Okay. Yeah, that looks a little too busy, and I kind of look like I'm getting shrunken. So, let me delete this one. There we go. And again, this is why we don't tend to delete the originals, because if we do, then we're kind of screwed. There we go. Almost there. There we go. So now what we're going to do is get our pen. Again, sort of select around the beak. That way, all I have to do is do Control J. Where the hell is... Huh. I messed up that pathing. Let's see. Make selection. Okay. Make selection. Okay. Select inverse. And Control J. Hide that. And there we go. So, again, now, actually what I'm going to do now is actually beat myself to the chase, and I'm going to copy this camera, just duplicate it, have it to where I had it before. That should be it, I think. Whatever, that looks good enough to me. Actually, it's slightly off. What the hell? Let me hide me, because that's getting in the way of the thing. There we go. They're now symmetrical. Or they're like on the same like playing field. Okay, so let me do this. There we go. T, horizontal flip, give you the J blunt. Yeah, where the hell? Okay, so now, I don't like that. What was the third face that I had? What if I had this one? Okay, so let me go back to the switch real quick. Maybe I can get an angle with, and again, I'm gonna go back to the thing majiggy. Give me 1 second to get this all figured out. Okay, so now I have this second camera here. So again, you guys have seen this in today's video. God, I really don't know how this is gonna work out. E. That's right. So the reason why that didn't work is because I have the inverse of that selected. Now, all I'm gonna do is simply make it apparent that there's a Kremen right here. And actually, it might be more of a challenge than I realized. Actually, that doesn't look too bad. Let me hide this so I can just focus on this right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pen along this side of the beak, just the bottom bit, because I know whenever I like put myself there that I'm gonna take over the top bit of it because I'm so wide. There's no point to preserve the top bit of the Cramorant. But again, I'm not gonna delete anything. Also, I'm no professional, so consult a doctor before performing any of these procedures. There we go. So make selection. Control J. So now there should be that. And then now when I do this, that's at the wrong layer. Or congratulations, you failed Photoshop. There we go. Now it looks like it's giving me a. Anywho, I probably should actually if I do this. There we go. Okay, so really what I just did is bullshitted. It's really what I did. Inverse, Control J. There we go. Okay, so now what I did is I realized that Cramorant's mouth obviously isn't flat, but I was missing this portion of its mouth, and without it, it looked kind of like I chopped up its head. With this, it gets a little bit of depth, and it kind of looks like I'm in its mouth. Okay, so now putting all of these together, we're almost there. I'm liking this more and more now. I think having sort of like this trifecta of Cramorant is really going to work. Also, if you guys didn't notice, I kind of put these guys together. I grouped up the like the Miis and the Cramorant, so I'm going to call that left, I'm going to call that right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to group these and call this one up, or U, whatever. And now what I can do is basically reposition these Cramorants, right? So maybe what I can do is, nah, I like the way they were originally. Just like reposition them a little bit. Nah. My issue is like, you know, it looks a little bit too busy. Maybe because I don't have a background just yet. And trying to think of a potential background what we can do. Timer was involved. Again, if you guys have yet to watch the battle, it was a 5-0 win for me, purely on timer. So that's how we operate with timer loss, is if you lose to timer, then the amount of Pokemon on your opponent's side is how much you lose by. So we both only lost a Pokemon, that being Azumarill. And so that's really what cost my opponent. But anywho, trying to think if we can reposition these Cramorants, just like maybe it's just slightly smaller. There we go. I actually kind of like that a little bit more. And in fact, to hide the fact that it was cropped, I'm gonna put this one on top. Ooh, I like the fact that it is angled just a little bit, actually. Again, I'm no professional. I don't know how what proper photos look or whatever. Yeah, I like the trinity of the Jorges, to be honest. There we go. God, that middle one looks so wrong for obvious reasons. And that's why it's gonna be the thumbnail. Because it looks wrong. And because I know it looks wrong. And it's gonna get reactions. Now, the question is, what do we make the actual background? And sometimes I really just don't know. I'm kind of a background lost kind of guy. Maybe we can make it a clock. Who knows? Let's see if I look up clock. Because it was timer. Or maybe just make it a screenshot from WAP. I'm gonna look up child-friendly WAP screenshot. Also, my Google Chrome is kind of so child-friendly WAP screenshot. Lyrics. Shot. Can I go to images? You gonna to be dancing like Nicki Minaj? It's not really what I was hoping for. I'm gonna be real. This is also part of the process. It's looking for images. What if I did this? Because the cameras actually, they probably could recognize the background. Because me getting gobbled and swallowed in the middle. Let's see. Let's see. How big is this image? 200. Okay. It might get a little pixelated because of the size of it. Let's see. How does this look? I'll do that. I won't lie. I'm actually a little stuck in terms of like creating a background because I really don't know what I want for it. And it's a little infuriating, I won't lie. Like having them at the chair. And then, okay, so what I'm gonna do now, so I also have a drawing tablet. Wow, this is something that's actually taking me a little bit of time. I may not have the Azumarill, who knows. This might just be just me giving general directions. I might skip how to get the pink stuff. Okay. But anywho, so what I had in mind is making sort of a shock face out of Azumarill. And that does take a little bit of just photo editing and all that. And again, I'm no professional, so please consult the doctor before performing any of these actions. But I have a drawing tablet. I'm using like a basic Wacom tablet. Been using it for a while now, and honestly, it is a lifesaver. And again, as you notice, before I even like started like coloring, I just sort of like get a filter of the colors. So like, I knew what color I was dealing with. I'm trying to think of like how the eyes would look, because obviously I can't. I'm no professional. That's the thing. And that is the issue with like making thumbnails like this. Is like, you know, I don't know how sometimes to draw things. It's more on a whim. And so also whenever I do this kind of stuff, I do kind of zone in. And why I was kind of worried about creating something like this. What if I instead I just like went super basic and just gave it eyebrows? That always works. So if I go like this, what my thickness? Okay, that's a bit too thick. Go 3. There we go. That looks a lot better. And then what I'll do is get rid of this mouth. And I am getting rid of the mouth. And you might be surprised again why it's working so well. And that is because I sampled the mouth, or the colors around the mouth, and because of that, it kind of gives out this like this even color. If you look a little closely, you can see that it's not because of the shading. But if I kind of smear it in, right now it looks like he never had a mouth to begin with, which is pretty good. You go here and go. There we go. Just sort of connecting it all. Let me lasso this a little bit so I can fix it slightly. There we go. Let me. That's the magic wand. Is that a thing? Magic wand? I think that's something else I'm thinking about. Oh no. There we go. And then so now what I'm gonna do is, because the 3D models don't have like lines, the only lines they have is usually their mouth. I'm not gonna like. Also, I'm guessing the color of the tongue. Long layer, or congratulations. And again, I do apologize if I zone in. It's because again, I'm kind of trying to make sure this looks good to some degree. Because again, this is going onto YouTube. This is also a pilot, so I don't know how professionally or how well edited this is going to be. I'm probably going to cut to where this is finalized. I don't know. It really depends how I word things too. And because like for me, it's like the editing is like, okay, you know, if I say a certain thing like feature Jorge knows, okay, cue into this thing or whatever. And so yeah. And if you're still here, wow, I don't want to say that because that's like more work for me. So, this is the Azumarill, as you guys can see. And I'm just going to put them right there. And what I'll put right here is just a simple clock. Is a clock. How about I didn't misspell that? Yep. We're gonna copy that. Again, I don't know like colors and all that, and I'm gonna be real. I'm feeling kind of stuck, and that's okay. You know, whenever you guys can easily get stuck on countless of projects, and I'm getting stuck on this one. So, I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. In terms of like, you know, adding stuff, because the central theme is just this stuff. And you know what? In fact, I don't think I even want the Azumarill. I'm gonna be real. And I do this constantly, where I add something into a thumbnail, and I end up just removing it because I just don't like the way it looks. So I think I am gonna remove the Azumarill, and I'm gonna keep the thumbnail as this. I'm gonna add, or not import. I'm gonna add the ICP logo real quickly. You guys can see my layering stuff. I really don't care. I don't think I have anything that like groundbreaking. CO. Guess we'll see the image in just a second. But that's the thumbnail. And that was me creating a thumbnail live. Took almost over right now this recording is an hour, and I think I have over another maybe 30-40 minutes of of coverage. Honestly, this is probably one of my quicker thumbnails, I'll be real. And it's only because this didn't really require any drawing of the sorts. So, it's a lot more just simple photoshopping. And to be fair, I like it when it's like that. God, wait, who the hell, who showed up? No one invited you. Get out of the lobby. Okay, so let me, so I've added that guy. Let me give it like a little glow. So just stick out just a little bit. So. Here we go. Let me move some of that noise so it looks a little more natural. There we go. There's the logo. And yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. The process, how I can improve this. I don't know how long this is going to be. I'm going to be real. But if you guys did enjoy this sort of like this how-to video, hit the like button down below, subscribe if you haven't already. I don't know when this is going to go out. This is definitely going to come out afterwards. And this definitely won't be every single thumbnail because I just don't have the manpower and the will to make a how-to video for every single thumbnail because no. Just no. But I like this sort of idea. I teased this on Twitter plenty of times, and this sort of thing is a good way for me to branch out from Draftly content and just do me. Just record me. I know some of you may not like me, but I like you because you're here watching this content. Anyways, I don't know what thumbnail will be next. Maybe week 2, maybe week 3, maybe whenever this gets uploaded. Because again, this is very, very new. Anyways, it's midnight for me. I've been making this thumbnail for over 2 hours now. I'm kind of tired. I won't lie. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Peace. Thank you so much for watching this video of mine. If you guys did enjoy this content, by all means hit the like button down below and subscribe if you have not already. If you guys want to continue watching my content, Sergey himself has picked a video just for you on the left of the screen. Just all you have to do is click it, but YouTube does think you guys will enjoy the video on the right. The choice is yours. Anyways, you guys do know me as Sir Great. Make sure you appreciate the word of Alola Negi, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.